From the Greater Middle East Project to the New Middle East Project. Ahmet Uysal. The Western hegemony in the Middle East is the legacy of the Western colonialism that shaped the region after the First World War, and the struggles for independence shaped it again after World War II within the Cold War context. The United States became as the sole superpower after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. The United States wanted to prove the arrival of a new era after the First Gulf War. However, it was not sure what to do with the Middle East, so it waited for a decade to implement the project of Greater Middle East. The Greater Middle East Initiative or project emerged during the George W. Bush during the early 2000s. The Bush administration wanted to use the attacks of September 11th to implement the project of regime changes in the wide region from Central Asia to North Africa. At the G8 summit of 2004, President Bush expressed the need for political and economic reforms in the Middle East to fight global terrorism. He argued the region needed democratization and liberalization to invade Afghanistan in 2001 and Iraq in 2003. The Bush administration planned to expand the project to Iran and Syria and probably other Arab countries later on. The invasion of Afghanistan was said to end Al-Qaeda, Taliban, and terrorism. In the geopolitical sense, the USA was repeating the Soviet attempt to invade Afghanistan with different excuses. However, the USA failed to bring neither democracy nor development and stability and had to leave Afghanistan without any early warning in 2021. In 2003, the Bush administration invaded Iraq and toppled Saddam Hussein with the pretext of presence of weapons of mass destruction and Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Bush's claims proved baseless after the invasion, but the Al-Qaeda later arrived in Iraq. The Western coalition of the willing did not establish a genuine democracy in Iraq, but, instead, produced sectarian and ethnic tensions that haunt the country until today. Considering the later examples in Syria, Geneva Process, or Libya, they wanted a dysfunctional system as the same America established working democracies in Germany and Japan after the World War II. The Obama administration left Iraq in 2011 and Iran filled the gap in the country until today, as many suspects this move was intentional. The Arab Spring was about the created different Middle East, but the regional and international status quo resisted the change, and the region was reverted to its previous shape. The process was interrupted by military coups, civil wars, terror, and foreign interventions in Syria, Yemen, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Iraq, etc. It is clear that the great powers did not like the Arabs' demand for democracy, development, and unity, as Iran also volunteered to suppress some of this process by intervening in Syria, Yemen, Iraq, and Lebanon. The cost of the Arab revolutions was huge, with its money, life, and energy. The American President Donald Trump wanted to implement the Middle East Project with the deal of the century and the Abraham Accords. Him and his son-in-law Kushner wanted to redesign the Middle East around Israel after the destruction of the region during the last decade. Trump convinced some Arab states to normalize with Israel, such as the UAE, Bahrain, and Morocco. There was a resistance to this project from the Arab publics and the governments such as Jordan and Palestinian Authority because Israel was getting all the advantages. The arrival of Biden did not stop this project, but reshaped the project into a more violent version after the October 7th attacks of Hamas. Israel and its sponsors in the West wanted to use this opportunity to destroy any kind of resistance in Palestine and in the region. Israel and Netanyahu want to crush the Palestinian resistance even if it entails the genocide or a regional war. Iran does not want to enter war with Israel, as the latest attack proved that it could hit Israel in a more symbolic way than a real war. The USA does not want a regional war at this juncture of history, but it is clear both Kamala and Trump will work to shape the Middle East according to their visions without asking the people of the region what they want.